Good evening, good evening, good evening, man. Thank everybody, man. Sorry for the delay, but hey, we here tonight, and I'm so excited about tonight. I'm so excited about what's about to happen, what's going on, and about tonight's show because tonight's show is a very special show. It's a show because you know what? I got one of my man. We go way back. I mean, shoot, we're knocking on 20 years of meeting each other. So time is going on, but it's somebody that I truly respect. And I know for a fact that the conversation tonight is going to be one that's going to be not only intriguing, but it's going to be one that's going to be thought provoking and one that's going to, open up a real good discussion on some things that I felt that was necessary to talk about. Because I feel like, honestly, I feel like this conversation impacts a lot of us more than what we know. And I just feel like it's time to talk about it in an open and honest way, and just have some good dialogue about it. But make sure you share this. Make sure you let me know where you're tuning in from, and make sure that you engage tonight because tonight conversation. I'm telling you, you ain't gonna want to miss it. You're not gonna want to miss it. I'm sharing this a little bit. Make sure you do the same and just jump on. And we're about to get right into it. But I just want to thank everybody for real. Seriously, thank everybody for your continued support. Means a lot more than what you know. We at episode 93, getting ready to go. We almost at episode 100. So we've been doing this thing for a while. So excited. I mean, I'm ecstatic. We got my classmate. What's going on, 9-8? What's going on, Chandrilla? Chandrilla, how you doing? And happy belated birthday to J-Rock, too. Happy belated birthday to him. But hey, without further ado, I'm about to bring my man on. My man, we go way back. I met him when I was stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas, back in 2003. Now, that was 19 years ago, and we've been rolling strong since then. So I'll bring my man in now, Mr. Eric Willis. Eric Willis. Hey, what's up, Doc?
Hey, how's it going, man? How's it going? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How's everything with you?
Man, everything is good. My apologies for the delay, man.
Listen, man, that's water under the bridge.
So followers, it's me. He got on a little late today. It's me, but it's all good. I was in computer technology remedial class, man. So that's me, man. So
hey, no problem, man.
My apologies, man.
Let people know where you from, man. Where you hail from?
Man, I'm from Homer, Louisiana, the greatest parish you can name. I'm a country in real life, and I make it my business to tell everybody who I meet where I'm from. I'm not from Shreveport. I'm not from New Orleans. I'm from Homer. Cleveland Parish, 30 minutes from from Junction City, Arkansas. That's where I'm from, So it's up northern Louisiana. I'm about an hour from Shreveport, Louisiana, and I've been in the Midwest. I moved to Junction City, Kansas, on May 25th, 1997. And I came for the summer, and I'm still here.
It's still there.
Yeah, I'm in Kansas City area now, but I'm still gone.
Still going in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So, man, like I said, man, I came to Junction City, Kansas, and
it was 05. That was 05.
What? When I came?
Yeah.
No, I came 03.
You came in 03?
I came 03. Let me tell you why. It was January 03 because the Albers had just got back from we all just got back.
I wasn't married.
You weren't married. No, you weren't married.
You're right.
I was in your wedding.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't married yet. You're right.
Yeah, you weren't married. So yeah. So
we was on the steps. We was on the steps coming down in the foyer area, in the back foyer area of the church.
Yep. And John introduced me to you. He said, "Hey man," because he had told me about it. He said, "Man, you got to meet my boy Eric, man." Because I met John and Tanya stationed in Korea. We all stationed in the area.
Yeah,
so
man.
And this is the funny thing, right? Because I swore at that time I was going back to Fort Hood, right? Swore I was going back to Fort Hood. And the Army said, "Hey, you on assignment to Fort Riley, Kansas." So John and Tanya was there. So when I got there, we stayed with them until we got our house on post. And then they invited us to the church and we came there. And then, that's where we end up meeting together. But good times, man. Almost 20 years, man. That was almost it's 19 years ago. You think about it, man. Look, kids. Look, Robert was born almost a year after I got there, and he graduated high school this year.
Yeah, man. He was born March 25th.
Yeah, March 15th.
March 15th, because that's the same day my grandfather's birthday. March 15th, my grandfather's birthday, March 15th. So that's something I always remembered. But yeah, man, golly.
Yeah. When we start thinking about it, man, we ain't no spring chickens no more. But
no, man, I in 03, I was 29.
Yeah. 03, I was 23.
Hold on. Let me start.
You were younger than that. You're 27.
Let me see.
You're 27 because you're 94. I'm 98.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Man, I'm tripping today.
No,
I'm
man.
getting my time stream messed up because I'm thinking I was married, but no, I wasn't married when you got there. No. I wasn't married. I think because you and Heather and them deployed. We was
in the same unit.
Yeah, they deployed. Man, that was a sad day, September 25th. That was a sad day. I remember I had preached the day before she left. I think I preached the day or so before she left, actually.
Yep.
And
look, we was all at the gym. We was all at the gym. We all went to the gym. Yeah. I remember that.
When Heather and them did that right face, when they did that right face, walked to the unit, I'm like, and that day. I drove Heather car, that Hyundai, and we still got that car. Still got that Hyundai 98. And I didn't know how to drive a stick. Because I left y'all company area, and then I went over to see Tanya.
Yeah.
She was a wreck. She was working. She was doing 1,000 directions a minute. I saw her. I mean, like, hugged her and, kissed her. I mean, not kissed her, but, wished her goodbye and stuff like that. Yeah. Then I drove back from Fort Riley, scratching up gears left and right, because I did not know how to drive a stick.
Man, look, man, you took me down memory road, man. I remember when we had to do that right face and walk into that gym.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, you had to hold that face strong, man. And,
man.
That was, a lot of people don't know about that when you're in the military and you have to leave like that. That's some tough times, man.
Yeah.
But man, I came on, man, got you on because I wanted to talk about this topic, man, and this topic that I was just pondering on, and we had a conversation over the phone, and while we was having our conversation, this popped into my spirit, and I was like, man, this is the person that I need to talk to. This is the person that I feel like would be real good as for this topic, and the topic I want to talk about is addressing the hidden and lingering impacts of being hurt by people in positions of trust. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because a lot of times we talk about position of trust, there are certain things called church hurt. There's hurt that you have different people of different organizations, from coaches, from a lot of different people, right? And those things have a lingering impact, like a huge lingering impact on us and on our lives. And a lot of people are carrying those lingering hurt and wounds from things that happened to them way years ago, E.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about it.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I done swallowed a lot of bull, man. In the name of being loyal, in the name of being a humble servant, I put up with a lot of stuff, man. I kind of, to be honest, it's almost embarrassing, because it's humiliating to me, because I'm like, man, I took that, and before we end tonight, I may say something where it could be kind of accusatory a little bit, but I'm not being accusatory. It's just from another perspective, But I was talking about it with a friend of mine at work or whatever, but I'm not gonna take over. Let's be.
No, but my mom made the comment. She said we must separate the person from the position. That is true, Mom. That there are times that when we talk about being hurt by people in positions of trust, we need to separate the person from the position. But that's not an easy thing to do. And the reason why it's not an easy thing to do, because when we get, there's certain expectations that we have from certain positions going in, inherited expectation that we have. But what happens is when we are hurt by certain people, and it's not so much of as you mature, it's not so much that we don't know that people make mistakes. But the problem is a lot of the hurt really is not in them making a human mistake. It's the arrogance in which they walk in it as if they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And that what really hurts a lot of people on the backside.
Yeah.
Because that's what really hurts. It's like, okay, we all offend, no matter in your best effort, you're gonna hurt people.
Yeah.
But it's that sense of entitlement, or as if you're beneath certain people that linger on that hurt, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's and not coming off as Mr. Perfect or anything, but being taken on the all that comes with being a servant. Mm-hmm. Like I used to say, man, I'm not, not smart, like that, but I can use my hands. I can use my body. I can get you moved. I can go get. That was my mentality. I'm not a musician. You know what I'm saying? I can't use my, just serving is something I just took to out the gate. And I always had the mentality as far as being a part of a church, that as long as I'm able-bodied, mm-hmm. If you need a body there, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. And
that is the position I had taken at the time, and really trying to. I don't want to take over this podcast. I just want to talk.
No, but that's E. That is why I know that I was led to ask you to come on, because the reality is these type of things really need to be talked about, really need to be addressed. For example, I give one out. I can remember my second deployment. To Iraq. And during that deployment, man, it was rough. That's when I went through. It was rough. I went through a divorce. I went through a lot of different things, right? And I had a leader at the time who as I was going through this, I made the assumption that person was my leader, though, that they was going to look out for my best interest, right? Mm-hmm. So I had a situation to happen in which there were something basically. An accusation was made as if I wasn't fulfilling my duties as taking care of my family. That was officially filed through the military that came to me while I was downrange. Mm. Now that was definitely not the case. I was doing everything I needed to do. It was just based on what I was going through at that time. Somebody made a complaint and it got to me, and I went to the individual and I was like, "Hey, this situation, what I got going on." And instead of the individual looking what I felt like was in my best interest, he was more concerned with closing that complaint out than helping me out.
Yeah.
So when I say that destroyed for me at that moment, man, that did some damage to me as far as me trusting in leadership.
Yeah.
And then that even compounded after I got back. I got back and I got stationed at Fort Gordon. I left Fort Riley, got stationed at Fort Gordon. I got to my new unit at Fort Gordon, and then during this time, I was trying to go and do my do green to gold, go from NCO to enlisted to officer.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
As I was doing that, I was doing my packet. Now at the time, I was working at the NCO Academy, so I wasn't getting a lot of support being an NCO trying to go officer, working at the NCO Academy. But I did everything I was supposed to do, did everything by the book. Mm-hmm. And it was this one time where I just went to find out I had to have an officer in signing. I just found out if it was going to be the deputy brigade commander or the brigade commander whose signature block I need to put on my packet before I submit it. While I'm sitting there, the brigade commander came in and told me to come in his office. I didn't go there to see the brigade commander. I went there to find out who signature block I put on it. Mm-hmm. So long story short, the brigade commander said, "Hey, look, I'll support you. I just need an email from your commandant, your sergeant major, just saying, hey, he's supported." So I go back to talk to the deputy sergeant major deputy commandant and to talk to her about, hey, this is what he said. She took it like I jumped the chain of command and started going off on me. And then she called my first sergeant at the time and asked him, did he know what was going on? And he was like, no, but he done signed like 5 different things in my packet already. Whoa. So for me, for what happened to me earlier in Iraq, and then now, bro, I completely lost trust in leadership in the military, in my leaders, because they was in a position of trust. Bro, it took my next leader to really go out and show me. Shout out to Colonel retired Karen Jane Rowe, who showed me through her compassion for me that restored my trust back into my Army leadership.
Yeah. I think one thing about me, when I first got into the church, in 1999, for one, it never really clicked in my head that I could ever be a part of a church, because I was aware that I was a sinner. I was aware that I was a bad person. I knew that. Like I knew that. I done drank liquor in the church. I done all of that stuff. And so when it came down, when I had realized that and had an encounter with the person referred to as Jesus, and got saved and all that, I got a part of a church. Man, my mama jumped for joy. I said, Mama, I got saved and everything. And I remember her being excited, and I'm excited. And man, I'm telling you, my whole point of view was just happy, because a person like me could not be saved. And when I got that I was saved, it was like a huge burden fell off me, and I was just bursting with joy. If you could remember, if anybody who has had an encounter with the Lord in their lives, and that feeling that you never want to lose that.
Yeah.
And man, I was church, man. I would walk to church, man. I was just happy to be in church. But over the years, and I would say this, looking back, 90% of every offense I had was by people in church. I'm talking about Rata, my bow tie, Ashakaka, or some of the most heinous people, some of the most heinous acts done by folks, man. And at the time, man, my mind, and you always, what you talk, to turn the other cheek, to be a bigger person, to grow in grace, and and I took that. I remember one time, I would say the names, I don't care. Y'all know me, man. You come for me, that's what you want to do. Well, he's dead now. He's a good guy, though. He's a good guy. One of my first another experience. Yeah. Well, this is the first bad experience I had in the church. The first one.
Yeah.
I'm new, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and me and my good buddy, my ace, John Albert, we was planning to do some work at the church, and it was a summertime, and me and him had called. We was on the phone, and we back then was going to use Freeway to talk to another person about what we could do, while they were gone. And man, seconds into that conversation, man, that person talked about me like I was a dog. And in my mind, I would lay down my life for you, because I was so, being a part of a church was so great to me. And to hear them talk about me, when I do all of this for you, when I go pick up your family members, and when I do all of this for you, and your wish is my command kind of thing. When I heard that, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. My boy Al, all he said was, man, I'm sorry about that, man. And bro, I cried, man. I cried. Yeah. That was one of the worst. That was one of my first bad experience I had in the church. But you taught to, don't hold any grudges, and you know.
But the thing is, and this is why I'm so glad that you're up, right? And the reason why I'm glad you brought that up is because, like you said, 90% of the hurt that you dealt with by people that happen with people in the church, right? And a lot of that is because we get in the church and we forget about the principles that the Bible really talks about we're supposed to live by, and we get caught up in the socialization and in the theatrics of the church and our positions. And we forget, just like what you said, we forget that how it's not about, and I say this all the time, we should always preach the gospel, but if necessary, use words. And the reason why I say that, it's not about what you say, it's about how you treat people, because people remember how you treat them.
That's right.
Yeah, you can have a bad day, but you ain't gonna talk nasty about somebody.
Yeah.
And that don't come from a good place. You are a nasty person, and a lot of people suppress that and hide behind these titles in the church, but do so much damage to so many people, and they're wondering why in the world things are the way they are, or why the church is the thing that the way they are.
Now, when you think about truth and righteousness, you and I, we think about church people. Yeah. The church has always had this stance of being the barometer of truth and righteousness. So to hear that kind of slander, that comes from, and that comes from wickedness, man. That comes from wicked folk.
Yeah.
Worldly people do that. I didn't expect that kind of, especially when I had displayed my allegiance to this ministry and to the people in this ministry.
Yeah.
And it didn't click, because in my mind, I lived all those years trying to see the better, trying to see the good, but at the same time, ignoring the bad, trying to believe that this is a good thing, trying to believe that this is a good person, trying to believe, you know what I'm saying? Because we want to believe that. We want to believe this is a good person because you're in the church and you connected to such and such.
Well, but that's the whole thing about it is, right? And you said the key, right? The church and a lot of the symbolism of the church has been a symbol or barometer of truth and righteousness, right?
Yeah.
The issue is people have been hiding behind that symbol and not putting in the work to become it. Yeah. Because like the different things is one thing that I learned, and one thing that I've learned and I've always loved and respected about you is you have always been committed to serve, had a heart for service, right? You weren't caught up in no title. You ain't care about none of that, bro. We done plenty of time. We done clean, cut grass. I mean, we done did it all swept. I mean, we did all of that, man.
Yeah.
But guess what, E? You got some folks they get to a certain space that they feel like they're above that. And they stop, and that's what I'm saying. And then when they get to those spaces and they get out of the space of being humble and serving, that's when people truly start getting wounded and hurt and have that lasting impact on them.
Because you don't turn that off. To me, you can't turn it off. I remember the comment was made, oh, the brothers will get that. A minister said that, and I'm like, nigga, ain't you a brother? You know what I'm saying? Yes, I take care of it. Yes, I'll go get that. Because that is what you do. That is what I do. I remember people saying that I was my pastor's dog. I remember people said joking with me about that. But it's all good, man. To me, I wore it as a badge of honor. To me. But it is that was just something that I had to experience. And I wrote down this question. I'm gonna go ahead and ask it if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember a few experiences that I've had in front of the sanctuary. Like when I was a deacon, they took up the offering, and on 3 different occasions that I can think of, off the top of my head, at our church during the week and all that, we would have, I took up the offering, yada, yada, yada. People come up, we go downstairs, count it, do whatever we do, right? On 3 different occasions, I had people take the stance of, see, that's the problem now. People You know, I'm just doing what I normally do to this
Yeah.
guest minister. This is my, you know, I'm a member of this church. You're a guest. That's the problem now. Folks want to come. I didn't tell you to move, and just taking authority over people, humiliating people in the name of the Lord because you feel you are entitled to, and you hide behind that title. And I'm thinking, you know, I was thinking about this today. Could my pastor have said something? If I'm a member here. And I'm not casting anything on any pastor or anything.
Yeah.
Or anything. That's not what I do, because my old pastor, man, I love that guy. But I was kind of thinking, and you know, preparing for this, could you have said something?
Yeah.
Could you have, hey, hold on. We don't do that here, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah. Like, hold on. You leaving tonight.
Yeah. And the same thing, you ain't gonna let me come in your house and speak anything in your house.
Yeah.
You gonna check me.
Yeah.
Because if something out of order, it need to be, hey, you out of order. Hey, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's more, we need to do that more. And the reason why is, bruh, that same thing like that, it's been people that happened one time, they don't never go back to church. They don't want to have nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But we, just like the same thing you said, we have allowed it to this sense of entitlement, as if they're speaking from an authority, as if they are in a space, but that authority don't come from them. They're there to serve.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me so upset, Eve, because the definition of minister is a servant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because of what we've done as men, we created these denominations and these institutions to where people are building themselves up to make themselves feel like they are more than what they are.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you better get that broom. You better get that. You better go in there and clean that bathroom, clean that urinal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you want to speak and call, like, stop, don't move. All of this, man, all of that stuff. I don't have no respect for that, man.
One time we was at man, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of sick that day too. I was kind of ill, but we don't take no days off, baby. And I had drove my then pastor to Kansas City to an event up here. Him, the pastor and his wife. I drove him up here, and I'm at the other pastor's house. Pastor Nate Bradley. That's the dude's name. I'm gonna say this nigga's name. And so we in his house, and I distinctly remember the conversation. And one time, me and Pastor Ocean was on a boat, and Pastor Ocean stood up in the boat, and the boat turned over. I was sitting down, and the boat flipped over. We still laugh about this to this day. This is a running joke me and him have. Yeah. So we at the pastor's house, and he brought that up. And I was like, Pastor Ocean, you know, you stood up in that boat. We just kind of just playful banter, you know, between us, you know, about the situation. But the guy was like, well, I'm not going to take your word over here. We're men of God. I was like, so I'm not? And he had this serious look on his face. You know how niggas be trying to be all, I'm this and I'm that. I took that. That same nigga I'm talking about, one day he came down to speak at the church I used to go to. And I said, sir, you need anything? You know what this nigga told me? You can hold my Bible. Like it was a privilege. Like it'd be an honor for me to carry this Bible with this grown nigga, 6'4". Why in the hell you think I want to carry your Bible? I don't mind doing it, but it's that. Do you think it's a privilege for me to carry your Bible? No, nigga. Yeah. No. You carry. I'm thinking, do you need water? Do you need a towel? Do you need stuff like that? This nigga said you can carry my Bible. Like it's an honor. Nigga, I don't care nothing about your Bible, dude. But you know what I did? I sucked it up. Yes, sir, I got it. I'll take care of it.
See, you bringing up something that, and I'm glad that we're having this discussion. Those compounded things like that, right? Those unaddressed things. Yeah. That stuff, man, it tears me up. I see even today, man, I see it in the military where people get to certain ranks and start acting a certain way, and nobody want to address it because of this, that, and the third, because of politics and stuff. Like, no, that's a problem. That right there is a problem. Like, we take this stuff and what a lot of people like to do, they like to go in and take little small pieces and then in an attempt to elevate themselves higher to make themselves feel like that they are more like armor bearer. David was an armor bearer. Like, okay, but you're talking about a king. You're supposed to be a pastor at a church in America where you got less than 100 members.
Yeah.
You need bodyguards. You need people to carry your Bible. Yeah. You just that holy that they got to carry your Bible.
This nigga got less than 30 actually, and I'm not dumping on the dude. I'm not dumping on him.
But what I'm saying is that type of behavior and that mindset leads to a lot of people having hidden and lingering impacts of hurt.
Yeah, from
people in the positions of trust.
Nigga, who carry your Bible when you read it in the morning? I mean, you, right? You know, it's like, and he said it and looked away as if I was going to be like, yes, my Lord, which I basically did. But I remember like, the ex-pastor before Pastor Ocean's wife came down. Mm-hmm. Sister Mary Harbor. I say this nigga name, you know, y'all look, you see this video, come for me. I'm good. I got time, but she was downstairs talking to Deacon Scroggins. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of standing back a little bit, waiting for a break in the conversation because I had to ask him a question about, you know, we were going to serve them after church because they, you know, on the road and stuff like that. I'm standing back. I'm back for them, maybe about 6 or 7 feet, but in their, you know, in their peripheral vision, hands behind the back. She looked up at me. I didn't come for her. I was talking to him. She looked up at me. This is how she did like this. What you need? I said, I'm coming to talk to Deacon Scroggins. Can't you see we talking? Deacon Scroggins did like this. I walked away from that one. But it's like, what an ass, man. Every time I would hear her preach after that, because you know, she would come, you know, I would go with my pastor or something like that, I would be turned off. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You could say something that I could be a millionaire today, but I don't want to hear it because you turned me off. You know, and it's like
that's what right there. What you just said is why I wanted to talk about this topic tonight. Yeah. That one thing, and that right there, when you having a bad day, that right there was a developed mindset that set in to make you feel like that you were better than somebody, that you was more than somebody. And we carried that mindset in the church, and it's been unaddressed for so long. Yeah, that it's been thousands to millions of people that have been hurt by somebody doing something like that. Yeah, and under the guise of holiness, under the guise of we represent the church, but it's all rooted in a self-fulfilled ego. Yeah. And it's all rooted into your false sense of self-righteousness. Yeah. And I had people make little jabs or whatever. Man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I used to kind of like battle another thing, man. I'm gonna be a little. I am guilty for putting the church before my wife, who, like, where I got a lot of abuse from. That was before my marriage. That was before my wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to go to such and such. Okay, let's go. You know, and it's like, sometimes I feel like a damn fool sometimes. I really do. But lesson learned though. Lesson learned. But I really do think and I'm so glad. I want to put this out there as a caveat. When I
started reflecting on the amount of loyalty that I thought I had, that, you know, not bragging on that I thought I would try to display over organized religion and stuff like that, and to people. When I went through a phase where you know, because of the pandemic, we weren't meeting.
Yeah.
And what I had already had been feeling, it was good because we can't meet, cool. Then I started reading other stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I started hating people in the church. I started hating any time. Like, I'm glad I didn't talk to you then, because I was gonna offend you on purpose. Like, you know, and I went through that phase. I went through a phase of just being angry and will let it out at any time. I want you to talk about it. Man, I found out you in church. Ooh, I'm coming for you, baby, because I know the scripture. You mean to tell me? But I remember one day I would always still feel a little, what Christian would say, conviction.
Yeah.
I would always feel that nudge because, okay, I'm trying to be offensive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I am becoming the thing that I despise. Rude, disregarding a person's feelings and stuff like that over their belief system or whatever. I am becoming the thing that I'm. And I remember I said these words out loud. I said, God, I don't want to be angry, because it's not a good look. I don't want to be angry. And in that process of time, because I have a lot of friends that I love who are still members of what you call the faith. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those relationships, some of those relationships, I don't want to lose those relationships. So you got to put aside that. Respect their point of view, but you better respect mine too, because it's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know that at the end of the day, man, like, you know, first of all, I appreciate your transparency, because, you know, a lot of people deal with that, man. Like, I was there before too, where, you know, you're so focused, you're so filled with zeal, and you're so excited, and you're serving. You're excited about serving, and you're going all in, and you get a lot of things, not that you're blinded by. You just not paying. I'm just here to serve. I'm here to get it in, here to serve. And you put up with a lot of stuff that, as you mature, and I start looking back like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna float. That right there, that dog ain't gonna hunt right now.
Yeah,
it's not. Because guess what? That stuff that you trying to present as one thing, that ain't it. Because Eric, there's never been nothing that you've done in service that was offensive to anybody. Think about that.
Yeah.
And in your heart of service, there's never been nothing that's been offensive. The offense come out of that self-righteousness and not being regarded, you know, because, you know, the other thing to this too is, and I've talked about it, a lot of folks so hurt in the church that they don't deal with their healing. They don't address issues from their childhood. So they come to church
and they transfer.
And they hide behind all these positions, right? And they start politicking and getting these things, right? Or they hide behind their gifts.
Yeah.
And people have them preach or sing or do this, or they marry this person. Now they are first lady, and they never dealt with their internal pain from their childhood.
Yeah.
And they go around just wounded and hurting everybody.
Yeah.
Because they refuse to deal with it. And I can tell you this, E, this speaking from experience. When I went through my divorce in 2008, I just like you said out loud, I told God, I said, God, I need to heal from this, because I don't want this to be bothering me and hindering me when I go forward.
Yeah.
So I made a decision to forgive. And it took my heart 2 years to catch up with what I made up in my mind.
Yeah.
So that was a process. But man, when I talk about these folks and I see all these people that's perpetuating this foolishness, Eric, they ain't dealt with who they are.
Yeah.
They didn't sit down to deal with who they are. These people have never sat down and had that Damascus Road experience and say, you know what? I'm filthy.
Yeah.
I'm messed up. I got my issues. I know how I am.
Yeah.
And they hurt people over and over and over again, and they hide behind religion and
In
these
that
positions.
position. That's right, man. That is spot on. That is spot on. I can and I want to make it known that I'm not acting like I did everything right, but I'm just stating, talking about some experiences in my life with people, and it is very possible. I remember days I'm contemplating leaving. I'm gonna go. This was back when I was in Junction City under PO, and I was like, I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna go to somewhere where nobody know me, because I kind of got tired of, not everybody, just a few individuals who would. I remember one of the greatest teachers and preachers I ever met, Daryl Doris. And I remember, I ain't scared of no nigga. I'm really not. And I remember I was teaching Sunday school one day, and he had got a reputation of, because he's so well versed.
Yeah, sharpshooter, like a sharpshooter.
And he would, be theatrical with it. And one morning, I was teaching Sunday school, and I said, "Hey, when you teach Sunday school lesson, you teach it how you want to teach it. I'm teaching what I got. I never had no more problems out of him." And I remember it got back to later on that day, I was talking to the pastor at the time. He was like, "Well, that's good for him. That's good." because it's like, don't dump on anybody because of your position in the church, man.
Yeah,
everybody's not on the same level. I understand that everybody on the same level. And oh man, I think the guy's brilliant. I think had he died, man, I could see a book coming out of him.
Yeah,
he's a wealth of biblical knowledge, man.
So my dad, he categorized people in different things. He said there's some good preachers, and there's some theologians, and there's some mystic theologians that can take the Bible and pull points out that everybody. And he was one, like he could. Hey, he would. I remember seeing him sitting up on the left side of the church. He would pull some stuff out, man, and be like, I'd be like, God,
to my Doors?
Yeah, Doors.
Yeah, cold. And at the time when I was, a youngster, man, it was an honor for me, man. I sat up under Elder John Smith, brilliant. And I would take something from these guys. John Smith is great teacher, great minister. I took stuff from him. I took stuff from Albert Armstrong, who's a fantastic teacher. Tommy Davis, his zeal for learning.
Yeah.
Dickinson. I took some from those guys. I took some from all those guys. And I remember one day I was going through an identity crisis where I'm trying to be like, and I remember it was like, you got to be like you.
Yeah.
And when you come into your own, you're gonna get people that buck against you.
Yeah.
To kind of keep you in your place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That right there is a whole nother. Listen, when folks, that's a whole nother topic right there. People being intimidated by you being you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like one point you made though, like I can remember coming to Fifth and Adams, man, coming to the church. And like I said to you on the phone, I came from Korea. God had showed me I had the gift of songwriting. And it just, when I say it happened, it happened. It was like, boom. I'm just riding on cloud nine, over music, a minister, doing all this stuff. And I get to Junction City, and all of a sudden, now I got to sit up under my man Henry, who had just started playing.
That's my guy.
About a year before. Yeah. And I had been playing since I was 11 years old. So I've been 12 years in the game. So guess what? I had to conflict with myself.
Yeah.
And I had to eat some humble pie, bro.
Yeah.
Because guess what? What I didn't know at the time, I could have came in and did all that. Look what I did and did this, that, and the third. No, man, God had to humble me. He used that to humble me but he also gave me the assignment to uplift my man Henry. And like now, I look at him today, bro. Henry's a beast, man.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, Henry a beast, and he is one of the very few people that I consider my best friend.
Yeah. I did not like this nigga when I first met him. When I first met Henry, at the time, when I first hit him, it was like maybe 2000. So I'm like 24. And Elder Jackson, another great guy, just a great. I took something from him too. And first of all, he's an East Coast dude.
Yeah,
I don't like East Coast dudes. East Coast dudes are arrogant. I don't like how they talk. I don't like East Coast dudes. So he already striking out with me. And from the first time we met, it was tension. I'm like, nigga, I wish you would say something to me I don't like. Hey, what's up, yo? But that is my guy, man. Henry is not only is he a fool, man, but as far as clowning and stuff, but me and him really, really, really got closer. I think it was 2011. We really came closer together and began to talk to each other and open up to each other more, man. And that's one guy I trust, man. I trust Henry. Henry needs something from me. He got it.
But Eric, you know what? I last time I saw Henry was 2007 when I left. September 2007 when I left Junction City. I did not see him again until January 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And we met at what's the name of that? We met at his place in Leavenworth. It's this new spot. He told me we met to eat. And when we met, it was like we had just saw each other the week prior.
Yeah.
That's the relationship that we got, man.
And he got his own story to tell. You know what I'm saying?
He got his own story.
But I going back to something I said earlier, Shep, walking around with hurt and resentment, that is not a good look, man. I think my wife might have said something to me about it a few times too. She was like, I miss the old you. She said that to me a few times. I miss the old you. And I'm like, that guy is gone. I'm embracing who I am now. Now, don't get me wrong. If you need anything from me and I can help you, I'm gonna do everything that servant. What I am now.
Yeah.
I want to take things back from that old life from when I was a part of the church. You need help. You need somebody to talk to. Need somebody to stay up with. I'm not above getting out of my bed in the middle of the night. I'm not above with going out of my way to help you get where you need to be. If you really genuinely need help, I'm not above that, because that's one thing I think as just a human being we should be doing anyway.
Yeah. And
I had got to the point where I ain't gonna lie, I had got to the point where I don't care about a title no more. I don't care. Don't call me. I'm not a minister. I'm not a minister. I'm not a preacher. I don't want to be. I just try to be a good person. I try to be good to people. I try to, I'm not so much as turning the other cheek like that. And that's foolish, but I still do what I can to, if you see conflict, don't just dive into it. Don't dive into it, kind of self-preservation kind of thing. Like, you know what, that I'm gonna stay out of that one, man. But I don't need that. When it came to me that this is me, because I know some people love church. They love being a part of that. They love and it is something about that atmosphere. Yeah. I can't say that. It was something you get up in the Sunday morning and you hear that Stanley going off, and you hear, people coming together. There is something about that.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I had made a decision to never be a part of a church again, it's kind of scary to step off that, because this is what I'm told. You step off this, you're gonna die and all of that. Well, I had got to the point where enough was enough, and I was afraid if I had to die because of what I now believe in, then so be it. So be it.
But the point, and and this right here is one of the points that I was talking about, the addressing the hidden and lingering impact.
Yeah.
Right? Is you didn't get to that space overnight.
Yeah.
And it was compounded over time.
Yep.
But the reason why it was compounded is because people never really address the insults. They never really address those things, those subtle things that we allow, and we don't hold people accountable due to the nature of certain positions and everything else like that. Like, just because you're a pastor, that don't give you a right to be offensive.
And to be
just
rude.
Because you're a minister, that don't give you a right to be offensive. Just because you're a first lady, that doesn't give you a right to be offensive. Just because you hold a title, it does not give you a right to be offensive, and it does not absolve you from the accountability, the standard in which the scriptures talk about.
Yeah.
And the stuff that people get hurt from is not from the teachings of God, it's from them not applying the word of God in their everyday lives and in their interaction with people. That right, I'm just telling you right now, there have never been a point to where there was a friction between us, because guess what? There were always a mutual respect, and both of us had a heart to serve.
That's right. I remember when you did that baseball field with that Ron Lamo, because one of the twilights of the 4th of July picnic was playing softball, and we gonna use the field. But you went out there, I'm like, that's a real one. That is a real one. When he got out there and plowed that whole field so we can do that, that's a real one. I never forgot that. And that kind of showed me more about you. At the time, I didn't really fool. If you want to serve it, if you went down to get dirty, I don't want to rock with you like that. We can kick it, but I don't want to rock with you like you. We different. Yeah, we different, homie. Because I'm about that. I'm about putting in work. If you need, we got you. And on that line, to be loyal to a ministry, just to be dumped on by people in the ministry and guest ministers, man, that is heartbreaking, man. And I really think pastors, look, I know that's your friend. You better say something to that dude. You better say something to that. You better say something to him, because he leaving.
Yeah,
you're gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be down with me, you got to be all the way down with me.
So I'm telling you, man, one thing I have a real problem with is when people don't say something under the guise of making peace at the expense of their own people.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't like that, man.
Yeah,
listen. You better say, hey, listen, don't just say nothing because you trying to. That's that politics stuff, man.
Yeah.
See, I don't want to say nothing because look, that person may be this person that can make this decision that can impact me. Or that person, we may go way back. But look, you came in my house being offensive in my house.
Yeah.
Over the people that I'm responsible for caring for.
Yeah.
So if I'm the shepherd, if there's any wolves trying to come around or coyotes trying to come around, I'm going to address and eliminate that threat.
Do you think people put too much trust in pastors and authority figures within the church? I think so.
I think what happened was this, right? I think to be honest with you, I think the intent behind the trust is I don't disagree with the intent. What I have an issue with is the exploitation of that trust. Yeah. And not the accountability that comes with that trust.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We just let people do whatever. So we feel like just because they're the pastor, hey, you wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's why I really like the church I attended in Augusta. It's a elders. It's the elders church. We have it's elders, right? So as a youth pastor, it was an elder. Me being a youth pastor, it was an elder that I was accountable to.
Yeah.
And then the elders met, And then, the pastor was, but the elders, they're the ones, there was a sense of accountability that everybody was accountable to somebody.
Yeah.
I couldn't just do whatever I wanted to do, even though I was in the position of a youth pastor, but I still had to, there was order, there was structure. And the problem is a lot of these churches, there ain't no structure like that.
When I was in Junction City under the pastor, and I became a youth pastor also, we had a relationship, and I understand his mentality. You got something, you run with it. And the order was, hey, I think we're gonna do this, this, and this. All right, fine, go. Then when everything was executed, you come back and give him you back brief him on everything that yada yada. That is the relationship to his. That was the. But when I came to Kansas City, good guy. Too old school for me.
Yeah,
too old for school for me. And to be honest, I love I feel the people there. But it was, to me, it's stepping back in time for me. And I was a part of that ministry there for about 5 years or so. But it's like stepping back. And one of the biggest hindrances there was the leadership.
Yeah. But see that Eric, a lot of the thing with leadership, see this in city government and all this just throughout, but especially in the church, is we get so caught up into holding on to traditional acts that we fail to realize and adjust to the times. And this is what I mean by that, right? When we grew up, we used to have to wait for the 6 o'clock news and the 10 o'clock news. It wasn't no 24-hour news cycle.
That's right. You
see what I'm saying? So we didn't have internet. We used to have to go and hopefully have an encyclopedia with the version we need, A, B, or whatever, to look up something. We didn't have Google, right? Yeah. We didn't have Bibles on. We didn't have smartphones and all this stuff. So why not? Why I'm the person right now in 2022, and I want to do things like we did it in 1980.
Hell no.
Like,
that don't make no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And this is not me balking at tradition. Why not use the internet if it's there? Why not use an app? Why not use something else?
I remember we used to do the foot washing.
Yeah.
I'm not washing another Negro's feet ever again. Unless we marry, unless you my wife. I ain't watching another Negro's feet ever again. Because the one, we ain't in the Middle East. We ain't over there. That's what they did there at that time.
But what people don't eat, what they don't realize is we get caught up in tradition, but don't do the research behind it.
Yeah, man.
Because what people don't realize, the reason why they washed the feet and had the foot washing at the time, if with me going over there, like they wore like sandals.
Yeah.
And it was cows, it was animals that there was manure and all that stuff everywhere, feet dusty. So when they go into the house, they will clean their feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't never again, unless I get a spurred on and go be in the medical profession, be a RN or something, but that ain't gonna happen. So I ain't watching nobody's feet, but I will help you out. I don't, like I said, I still don't have a problem with serving people. I still don't, because I understand that is who I am. That is who I am. That is what I do. I don't mind serving people. But it is very important how you address me, how you speak to me. It's very important, because I'm not going to be disrespectful to you. If I don't know something, I'm sorry, but don't come at me sideways, man. Don't come at me sideways, because I think I've had enough of that personally.
I want to ask you this question, E. And as we get ready to end, I want to ask you this question. What do you think would have been different if you had people that would have stood up and addressed those things when it happened, as it compounded over years, and you had the consistency of people standing up, like you had the guest minister calling out and being offensive and putting people on blast and be like, no, that ain't how we do it. Or when certain people do literally called out for that, and there was a sense of accountability. What do you think that would have done as far as with help with a lot of the pain or the impact of that hurt?
I think it would have done. It would have further reassured me or an individual that they're really down for you. They're really on your team. They're really, because you know, we come up, we loyal. We loyal people. We loyal friends. We loyal to whatever we doing or whatever. So that right there would only further solidify and put that in you to even go harder for that, because like I told you, when I went through this phase where, man, I resented everybody, and it was probably good that I didn't talk to anybody that I used to talk to also, because I would have probably let them have it. But don't get me wrong, that's some people. I was at a funeral a month ago. Me and this person made eye contact, and it was kind of like this. And they went their way and I went mine. You know what it is. You know what you done. You know what you did. You know what you said. So don't come to me. I'm not going to come to you acting like everything's all gravy. And you know not to come to me. Now, if we never talk again, there will no sleep be lost from me on this end.
Yeah. My
whole thing is, all right, whatever. I don't even, whatever. You just do your thing, man. But I really think that would have helped. That would have helped just reassure that they're on your team. Not just in-house, but when you're out and about too. Yeah. This is my guy.
I'm glad you. No, I'm glad you said that, man, because I hope people that are listening, or anybody that may have dealt with some hurt from people in positions of trust, if it's church hurt on the job, hurt from anywhere, right? I hope that you can heard something today that was really just helpful to help you process that stuff. One thing my dad used to say all the time, man. My dad has said, "Saved and unsaved." And when I was young, I used to hear it just kind of like, but what I realized is this, man, like a lot of people come into church and they get under the umbrella of being saved and act as if they don't have no more work to do on themselves.
That's right. Nasty,
and that's dangerous. Yeah. That's a dangerous mindset to have. And the reason why it's a dangerous mindset to have is because when you get that mindset, that's when you revert back to the wickedness that's already inside of you.
Yeah. Speaking in tongues, you still an asshole though. Yeah.
You put up this facade as if you saved, blessed, and highly favored, but you deep down a nasty person.
Nasty, mean individual.
And you hurt people. Yeah. You hurt people. And a lot of it is intentional.
Yeah.
But you hide behind it because you feel like you untouchable.
Yeah.
Bro, I've seen it. I've been in church literally from my mama's womb.
We had a council up at GPT. It was in October. This is the last council I physically went to. The last one. It was in 2019, October. And I was talking to one of the she was the head usher at the time. And we happened to go to the same church, but we was in this other church. We was at GPT. Remember GPT? Yeah. And we was talking, and this newly pastor who used to go to church I went to in Kansas City, but she started her own church, Robin Stanley. That's her name. Like I said, man, I'm here. And we were talking. We clearly having dialogue between us. So she walk up, out of respect, I got quiet, placed my hands behind my back, just out of, kind of wait till she saying what she gonna say, even though you just interrupted our conversation. And I was just kind of waiting for her. Brother, why you looking at me like that? You done got to. I'm like, I said, well, I was actually talking. Who you think you're talking to? I'm like, I'm just letting you know I was talking before you interrupted me. And I'm trying to offer you that respect because you definitely disregarding the conversation I was having before you walked up now you trying to jump down my throat because I didn't react how you think I should react. Since that day, we have never, it had always been a little tension over that right there. But it's your ego. Look, I had taught this symposium called Let Go My Ego. One of the biggest things that hinder growth and hinder relationships in the church and beyond is your ego, man. You always got to keep your ego in check. That sense of entitlement, that sense of I'm somebody and you're nobody. I'm going to put you down to lift me up kind of thing. I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you even coming at me like that?
Yeah.
You're in the wrong, actually.
Yeah. Because
you didn't say, excuse me, you just got in and started talking to this person who I was talking to. And we're clearly talking. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The relationship between us had never, but I don't really care. I have understood over the few years, Shep, I don't mind losing people, man. I don't mind because, you know, all the years I was in church and all that, you try to salvage stuff. Oh, we consecrated. We had a fast month together. We've done this together, but no.
Listen. God told me that I can love everybody. Don't mean I got to be connected to everybody.
That's right. Some relationships are temporal.
Yeah, so the season. Some people stop making seasonal people like trying to make them lifetime folks, and because you're gonna have some lifetime problems with them people that are only supposed to be there for a season.
Yeah,
and I'm comfortable with that. But later she said that she had to come. She said when people in leadership positions hurt you, you forgive them, but the relationship is totally different. Yeah. You don't trust them anymore. Yeah. And sometimes they know you are hurt, but they never apologize. Not sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah. You know what?
And that's where a lot of the hurt come in.
I understand the mentality, but Shep, I'm gonna say something. I don't think nothing. Like, do you hate them? No. You love them? No. I don't wish them nothing. I don't wish them bad. I don't wish them good. I don't wish them nothing. You live your life and do your thing. I live my life and I do my thing, because how I live is not predicated on you. I already see how you are. And one of the biggest things that led to what I said earlier in our conversation, you always try to look for good. You always thinking these people are good. They wouldn't hurt me. They're in the church. They're good. You got to lose that. Start seeing what you see. If a person is like this, that's them.
Yeah.
That's them. That's how they are. That is what it is. And I think you will have more peace. I don't put a lot of emphasis on church people anymore. People are just people, man. And people have issues. And I have more peace now because that's the way I see them. I don't care, bishop, apostle. I don't care about none of that, because you're just people. You got issues just like I got issues. And I don't put anybody. The pastor is the same person as a person who picking up trash. They're the same. They're the same to me. I remember I told this cat one time, he was being rude to me. And once again, I said, who you talking to? He was like, I'm talking to you. I said, would you say that to the bishop? Will you say that to Bishop Tolbert? Well, nigga, don't say it to me. You wouldn't say it to Bishop Tolbert like that. You ain't gonna say it to me like that.
Yeah, and Dave Roseman said, great topic, more than preachers in position of trust. And we talked about that. Yeah. We talked about different things. We just talk about some personal example, but listen, being a parent is a position of trust. A lot of parents out there then wounded their kids beyond repair. And I've been talked about this on my show over and over. And there's the same sense of entitlement, the same sense of and their kids are walking around, and a lot of generational curses are passed on through that type of behavior.
Roseman, look at the overall picture. Look at the spirit of it, not the letter.
Yeah.
Look at the spirit of what we're saying. This guy, a lot of our relationship most of it has been dealing with church.
Yeah.
over half of my life actually was a part of a church, of a ministry. So, like I said, I don't wish whatever you do, and I can say this when you had this conversation, whatever you decide to do, if you love church, you love that stuff, man, go and be the best you can be, all that you can be.
Yeah.
I just know that that's not for me.
Yeah.
That's not for me anymore. And that's okay. I feel peace with it. The same peace I had when I became a member of the church, I feel that exact same peace, the exact same, probably even more, that I'm no longer a part of a church. And that sounds ironic.
But I'm glad that we're having this conversation, especially in the open.
Yeah.
Right? Because that doesn't change how I feel about you.
Yeah, man.
That doesn't change my respect for you. That doesn't change. And I think, so many times we feel like it's not my job to change you. It's not my job to change. That's not my place. It's my job to love you, to serve in whatever capacity that I can. And guess what? I know who you are as a person. So I think we waste so much time with focusing on that instead of having these type of conversations, because guess what? It doesn't matter what you believe. People still hurt people that's in position to trust.
That's right. That's right.
That's not aligned to that right there is not aligned to a belief system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to have this, because this is a necessary topic to have.
Yeah.
Because all of this ratchet stuff, we see people talk about all this stuff, but we don't hear people talk about this. And I can guarantee you a lot of people can relate to what was said on here.
How much what you would deem as unethical stuff you've seen? I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I done seen folks take money. I done seen folks cover up stuff. I done seen it all. I done been in the meetings. I used to joke all the time. I said, I know where the bodies are buried. Yeah. But you just take it, and you're gonna be a good little servant, and you're gonna keep your mouth shut, and you're just gonna go on with this thing. But
it's the go ahead.
But just like going back what I said earlier, see it for what it is, man. We all want to do good. We all want the best for whatever we're in, but don't be duped if you see something that's something that's valuable, something that's don't put your hope in stuff like that. Like, put all your weight on it. Just understand it for what it is. People are people. It's not perfect. And I think you will have more peace of mind as you go forward in this life.
Laramie said, I think the issue is people trying to discredit the church, because when you discredit the church, you discredit Jesus.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the enemy want us to do. The church is perfect, just like church. I guess he said church isn't perfect, just like any other institution. What about the preachers, the pastors that have been hurt by the church? Hey, Laramie, I would say this, and I'm speaking for somebody who's seen a church turn on my dad after my dad did a whole lot for the same church. What I mean, like, I seen it, I lived through that, and I watched my dad carry that thing, Eric, in such level of integrity to where that's why he said people are people, saved and unsaved. And he said this, he said, those are God's people, not my people. I was called a pastor. Hey, they wanted what they had. They wanted the way and they did some backdoor stuff.
Yeah.
But guess what? At the end of the day, it's still from positions of trust. That hurt still, it doesn't matter if it's the pastor or if the pastor being hurt by the church or people being hurt in the church. Most of the hurt in the church ain't hurt by the pastor.
Yeah.
It's the other folks in the church.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and as far as I don't think that the conversation we've had to do anything to discredit church in of itself. We've been talking about the acts of people in the church and how it impacted the individuals. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm listening. It's all good. And I would never. I'm not going to come against the church. Like I told you in the beginning, I got a lot of friends in church, a lot of people I associate with in church. So I'm past the point where I point the finger. I don't do that. I want to, but I'm just telling you the experience you have, the bad experience you have with people who are looked up. When you speak, a lot of tension can be eased when you find out somebody's in church. You're in a group or whatever. Oh, I go to church. I'm a minister. Oh, okay. oh, this guy's a trustworthy guy. This guy is an ideal citizen. That is the mindset we have.
Yeah.
That when you say that is the reaction.
Yeah.
But those same people have issues too. And a lot of times, we allow ourselves to not think of it like that because
we push ourselves as if we don't have issues, and that's the issue that I have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if that same individual, if they come in and say, hey, look, I'm a convicted felon, I do this and I've done this, that, and the third, you ain't gonna put that same level of trust in them the same way you would do it, just like what you said, like with a minister.
Yeah.
The issue is that people understand that you're not perfect.
Yeah.
But when you do something wrong, that's why the Bible said when you offend your brother, you go to your brother.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where I found out I didn't make somebody feel some type of way. That didn't mean like I felt like I did it to hurt them, but I went to them to make it right. That's scripture.
Yeah.
But you got folks that know they did something wrong to people and won't go do it, and then come back acting like you wrong for addressing it with them. That's where the hurt come in.
That happened to a prominent member of a church I was a part of, to a prominent member, and I guess they thought I was going to back down because you rose up on me. No, not today. No. Yeah. And we talked it out in their office. And as a matter of fact, when we went in their office and talked, this is what I don't like. Don't act the ass in front of everybody, but then try to do your apology in private.
Yeah.
That is trying to save face. That's your ego in the way.
Yeah, because if you did,
because the offense didn't come behind closed doors. The offense came in front of a crowd. That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You acted a butt in front of everybody. You was all loud and boisterous and winning in front of everybody. And you got to sit there and take it. They didn't want to get behind closed doors and want to order this, initiate this lame ass apology to save face. Like, get out of my face. Get out of my face. I don't want to hear that. You know what you did. You know what you did. And for everybody, that's a good comment. That's a good comment. Valeda.
Everyone in the church not saved, and everyone outside the church not lost.
Yeah.
We just have to know why we go to church.
That's right. Some people love that. Some people love that, man. And like I said, I'm at a point of peace where I understand that. I understand people love their churches. People love that environment. People love the word. And that's all good. That's all fine and dandy. And if that's your thing, if you need that, man, go for it. Be all that you can be. Be the best you can be. Be good. Do good. Show goodness. Display that goodness to people. Do that. By all means, do that.
Larry said that the church is dysfunctional because it's made up of dysfunctional people who have issues and struggles. Some of the most dirtiest, low down, grimiest people are in the church. Everyone in the church don't represent the church, and we have to be able to discern between those that don't do it. And that's true. And we're not talking about the discerning in between. We're talking about the people operating in the dysfunctions, but want to act like they didn't do it and hide behind all of these titles that hurt people, and people walk away and have to carry that. That's what we're talking about as far as with being able to addressing that. Because those same grimy, low down, dirty people are certain people that are holding positions of trust. And they offend people under the guise of their ego and under the veil of they're doing God's work, and they're doing irreparable damage to a lot of people.
I remember this pastor, me and him he was going to pair me up with another member, and we already done a year together as heads of this group. It was hell. It was hell. You gotta eat a lot of, and the second year was coming up, and I just told him I don't think I could be in this ministry with this person. He's like, well, they're not going anywhere. I'm like, well, okay, I respectfully bow out. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again in this because it's counteractive. This is the exact opposite of why we doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. And people see tension. People see the eye rolls.
Mm-hmm.
People hear your tone. People see how you treat people. They see that.
Yeah.
They see that. Oh, we're gonna let Brother Shepherd come up and he's gonna talk to y'all about it. People see that.
Yeah.
People see you coming in late. And then when you get there, you take over the meeting. No apology. None of that. Yeah. You just they see that. They see you being rude to the other person. They see that.
Yeah.
But that position of power, that position of got you immune. You're immune from prosecution because of your position of power. You can't be prosecuted because of immunity, because of who I'm connected to or my position.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. That right there leads to a lot of hurt, and it has hidden and lingering impacts to people because of that dynamic.
Yep.
And E, man, I'm so glad, man. I really, really appreciate. I knew that you was gonna bring the raw because that's 100%. That's look, from 2003 to now, you have always been Eric Willis. Like that's just how it is, right? Yeah. And I would tell you, if people that didn't know you, that know you like I know you, it took a lot for you to be quiet all of those times over the years.
Yeah.
It took a lot for you.
Yeah. And it had to keep your demeanor, had to do all of that. Yeah. Yeah. I remember before I go, Mother Dolores Taylor, when she died in 2004. Before she died, I would go see her all the time. And she did what she told me. And I would stick with me. She said, and she was crying when she told me that. She was crying. She said, don't ever change. Don't ever change. You always tell people the truth. She said, they don't like people like us because we tell the truth.
Yep.
And that's what I try to do, man. I'm not a, I just try to be me. And if we're going to do this thing, we're going to do it. If we say we're going to do it in love, let's do it in love. If we say we're going to do this, let's do it like this. You know what I'm saying? And let's start addressing some of the issues that can keep us from carrying this thing that we love forward. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
But they don't think we done it in love.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on, man. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Man, good luck to you over there at KC, man. I'm going to have to make a trip to KC, man.
Come on, we here. We here.
But it won't be in the wintertime, though. Tell you that.
No, man. Look, if I could move out of Kansas City for the wintertime, I would.
Listen, people think I'm joking. I would take Fort Winter over Kansas City would. Because we get a lot of snow up here. But out that wind, bro, they got done Jayhawk. Ain't no joke, bro.
Lord. I start watering.
That wind disrespectful when you walk outside.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Man, Robert Shepherd, man. I wish you all the best, man. In your ministry, all the best in your military career, all the best in your life, man. It is a beautiful thing seeing somebody 23 years old, 23 when I met you, and still growing, still optimistic, and still making an impact wherever you go. And my prayer and hopes for you that you continue to do that. And this could be even bigger to reach more people, because I think people need to hear this. And I know you don't just talk about lingering issues that impact. There's a whole lot of a whole gamut of things that you cover. I think people need to talk about it. I think people can get past things if they were to just address it.
Yeah.
And have a back and forth dialogue. And then as you do that, situations and stuff is worked out. So man, God bless you, man.
Man, thank you, man. Same to you, man. Nothing but love to you, man. Looking forward to meeting up. Me, you, and Henry getting together, man, and do it big one time again.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
we can do that by all means, man. All
But hey,
means,
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You guys, thank y'all so much. Hey, feel free to go like the Conversation 98 on Facebook. Also, hey, look, we on TikTok, the Conversation 98 the Conversation _ 98. We're on Instagram, the Conversation 98. Listen, just go get it. And on YouTube, the Conversation 98. This will be uploaded very shortly. Go subscribe, share this. Let's keep this thing going. And big things coming to the Conversation 98.
take care, man. God bless you.
You guys great. You guys have a great and wonderful evening.
Take care.
Thank you.